Phyllis in Tennessee. I'm glad y'all are here with me today. Hazelwood Homestead. What today that we're going to make is going to be something that our family has eaten forever. Alan's grandmother, Grannie Anne, made these all the time. She's the one that taught me how to make them. And they're tuna cakes or tuna patties, however you want to call them. And today what we'll be using is just exactly what I said, tuna. Just a regular can of tuna. The tuna I got is from Walmart, Great Value Tuna. What we'll do today is we'll drain the water off of the tuna. Once we get the water drained off, we'll put the tuna into a mixing bowl. And I'm going to make a lot. You can make 2 cans, 4 cans, any amount you want to make. And there's several ways to make these, but I just make them the way that Grannie Anne taught me to make these. So drain all of your juice off. And I know my cat can smell this tuna. She just ran through here. I think she's trying to find where it is. She may jump up here on us in a minute, I don't know. But anyway, put 4 cans of tuna in here. Drained. This recipe that she always made, it was not that hard to do. It was not very hard at all to do. It was very fast, very quick. She made it fast. And it is a fast, something you can make when you get home at night after work. Just throw it in, get it all going. Your tuna is going to be in little chunks, so take your fork when we get it all in and just kind of shred it. Make sure I got all that off of there. A little bit more. All right. Just kind of shred it. If you can't get all of the juice out, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about that. All right, let's shred it up a little. Shred it up. See, it's in some chunks. Let's just kind of shred it. You can actually make a big batch of this, and you can fry some of your patties, and then you can get it out later and do some more for lunch tomorrow or something like that. We're going to be adding to this mixture spices, but first what we're going to add is 3 eggs. I'm going to go ahead and pour this out down my drain. Okay. 3 eggs. You can beat them first if you want to. I never do that. Now we'll just kind of mix that up. Mix up our 3 eggs. And when we're mixing up our 3 eggs, it kind of helps loosen up your tuna. Gets all the lumps out. Okay. Next thing we'll be adding is cornmeal. I have a 1/2 cup, and I'm just going to start out with maybe a 1/4 cup to see how much I need. Because usually I don't ever measure. So, guys, I'm just measuring for you all. I believe I'm going to add another 1/4 cup. Because you want this to stay together. I do have 1 Vidalia onion, half of that 1 onion already chopped that's going to be going in. You can use green onions, any kind of onions. I was out of green onions, so I didn't put the green onions. Now let's add our spices. Teaspoon of pepper to our mixture. teaspoon of garlic. A teaspoon NoSalt. This is Old Bay seasoning. Here comes the kitty cat again. Try to get her on the video. I would say probably I'm going to put 2 teaspoons, at least 2 teaspoons. Now, I love the way this, 2 teaspoons of Old Bay seasoning at least in your tuna. And I will add to my mixture about a teaspoon of olive oil. All right, let's see what we got. And what we want when we mix this up, we want to be able to make patties. Almost the consistency of a hamburger patty, but a little wetter than a hamburger patty. Let me get all this mixed in. Now, I know you say these onions are awful big. If you don't want your onions this big, put them in your little dicer or your chopper and chop them up real fine if you don't want them to show in your cakes. We don't mind them showing in our cakes because we like them so much. I think my consistency for a patty is just about perfect. Because when I make one, it's going to stay together. If it's too wet, go back to your cornmeal and add your cornmeal. All right, guys, we're going to move over to the stove and we're going to make these into patties, and we're going to have these for dinner with some green beans. Okay, we're ready at this time to cook our tuna cakes or tuna patties. So what we'll do is we'll get vegetable oil and put it in our pan. We'll get us a spatula, because I usually use a fork to turn mine over, because I like to use just my finger and a fork. Once we'll put a little piece in to see if our grease is hot and ready to go. You're going to cook these probably on your 1 to 10, probably number 7 setting on your stove. We don't want to fry them fast and hot. We want to kind of do it on a medium, because tuna is already ready to eat. You don't have to bake tuna to eat it or cook it to a certain temperature. You can eat it right out of the can. What we're wanting to process and cook is going to be the eggs that we actually added to the tuna. The onion we added, you can eat that dry, whatever. We're just cooking the egg. We're just binding this and giving a good crispy edge to it. All right, let's do a test of our, I'll just drop a little piece in there to see if it's going to sizzle. It's about to sizzle, so I use a large spoon and I just pick it up, put a little bit in my hand, pat it out, and make a little patty and drop it. Let me bring you over here where you can watch me put these in. Let me turn you down. You can see me pat them out and drop them in. Let me get you where I'll be out of the way so you can see how to make them. All right. Just get you a big spoon and just pat them up. Put them in your hand and just pat them like that. If you're scared to go over the hot grease, just take your spoon and do it if you're afraid to get into that grease. Just keep going. This is kind of fast. Cooks pretty good and pretty fast. Just start going around your pan with your patties If you ever make these for your family, I'm sure they're going to request them again. And pretty often too. They're delicious. Everybody loves them. We're going to have them with green beans tonight. Sometimes I have them with cabbage. That's always good. Coleslaw would be a good side with it. Also, or some French fries. Or mashed potatoes. I think we're having mashed potatoes and green beans with it tonight. But if you're in a pinch and you haven't been to the store and you would like to have something good for dinner, you can always make these. I'm going to turn my heat down just a little bit, maybe to like 5. Just keep putting them in till you get your pan full. I'm trying to make them all about the same size, but I think some of them are getting a little bigger than the others, but that's okay. And I'll tell you what, they make great leftovers. You just heat them up and they're ready to go. And if you don't like onions, you don't have to put them in there. You could put garlic cloves or parsley or anything else that you wanted to add. Now, the saddest part of this is going to be that you can't smell them cooking because they smell delicious. Absolutely. And my little kitty cat is just right here ready to jump. She's ready to eat them. Guys, I'm going to keep you right here over the skillet so you can walk. Can you hear her out there? Alan, you hear the cat.
You what?
You hear the kitty cat.
What's she talking to you?
She's trying to get me to give her one of these tuna cakes.
I bet.
She's back here right under the camera.
Yeah.
Meowing.
Talking to you.
She's wanting a little cake. Now, I don't fiddle with mine much. I just kind of let them cook on one side. Like I told y'all, what we're doing is we're cooking the egg. You're not really cooking the tuna. You're cooking the egg the eggs we put in. Okay, guys. I think they're just about ready to turn them over. So I go under mine with a fork because I can't get a spatula in here because I have got so many in. But you can see what they've done on the bottom. They've browned really nicely. It's been about 8 minutes on one side. Some of these on the edge may not be ready to flip. Let's see if this one is. It's not as brown, is it? Let's see about this one. Yeah, I usually go in with a fork. I don't have room to kind of get a spatula in there. So I just take my fork, I go in, and I just flip them. And they're so good and crispy. I've probably got too many in this pan. But it takes a lot to feed here. I may have to end up giving Kitty Cat one, but she may turn her nose up at it. I don't know. Now you see how easy that is to make. Mix it up. Spoon it in here. If you're afraid to drop it with your hand, you know, drop it with your big spoon. Let it cook about 8 minutes on this side, on one side. These on the edges are going to take a little longer because the pan rounds up. It's not flat, and it's not going to cook fast out here like it does in the middle. Now, I'll tell you, these are so good. I hope you make you some of these, and I hope you fix you a little side to go with it, like some coleslaw or some French fries for your family to eat, along with or cabbage if you want to fix some cabbage. It's a great meal. Now, it's economical meal if you maybe you're on a budget, or maybe you just love tuna. Either way, it's very economical. We love tuna. We've eaten it all our life. Some people one time told us it wasn't good for us, but we're still kicking. And we still like it. And like I told you, this was just great value tuna. Now, I don't buy tuna. This tuna did not have oil. It only had water. I started doing that years ago. I got when tuna came out and it was in water instead of oil. I started buying that. I was on Weight Watchers at the time, and so that's when I started using the tuna with the water. And I think my husband was also trying to lose weight, and he ate a lot of tuna and rice. He was on some kind of tuna fish and rice diet one time, and so we got the tuna with the water. And my cans only had water, not oil. You can buy whatever you want. Now you see how they're browning up? It doesn't take them long to get done. And while they're doing this, you can get your other side ready. You can get your bag of salad out and fix that. Get your green beans open and cook that. Get you some rice. Rice would be good with these too. Cook you an instant pan of rice for your kids or your grandkids or your husband or significant other, whoever you're cooking for. And they'll think you've been in the kitchen all day. Well, we hadn't been in here that long, have we? I think I'm going to move these on the outer. I think I'm going to bring them in a little bit. And put some of these outer guys. Just kind of do a switcheroo. Yeah. Move some of these inward. If a piece comes off, that's fine. Somebody will eat it. All right. If you notice that you need a little more oil in there, I have at times just went ahead and just added a little bit in. Just add a little more. That was probably about 2 tablespoons that I added in. That just helps to crisp them up. I have a little bit left over here in my bowl. As soon as I start taking one out, I'll put another one in. As soon as I feel like one of them is ready, I'll put some more in there. If you have any questions, look in the description box. If it's not there, just leave me a comment about whatever you want to know, and I'll certainly try to get it answered. Just leave me a question in the description box. And you can kind of tell which ones are done after our time that they've been in here. This one might have got a little bit too crispy. They sure are a good meal. I think this is kind of a cold weather meal we like. Now tuna we eat just like in a tuna salad in the summer. This is such a good January meal, this hot meal like this. I'm going to put just a little more oil for these others to cook over here. Little vegetable oil. I think this will be my last one I can scrape out of here. And let's see how many we got all together out of 4 cans of tuna. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We got 17 patties out of 1 bowl of 4 cans of tuna fish. And I think a tuna fish is about 80. I saw it last week for 88 cents a can. So that's under $5 for the tuna. Now you did have to add some eggs. and they haven't been cheap. And some cornmeal. And a sack of cornmeal goes a long way when you're cooking. And the onions haven't been cheap either, I've noticed. I do use my finger a lot to just flip them over. Make sure they're not getting burned. These will cook faster, these last three, because my pan is so good and warm. You see how they're good, how good they're doing? Because my pan is hot. I've got it about on a 7, a 6 or a 7. All right, guys, I'm going to turn you up. I'm just going to take these out, and I'm going to take one and open it up and kind of show you what it looks like. All right, let me get one of my pieces of china out. Is my china pretty? Let me see which one is cooler. All right, let me open one up and let you kind of see what it looks like on the inside. Isn't that pretty? It looks so good. Doesn't that look good? Yeah. It looks really good. It's so good. You want one, Alan?
Not right now.
You gonna wait?
Wait.
He's gonna wait for dinner. It's crunchy on the outside. Delicious on the inside. Please make these. I think you really enjoy them. And they make great leftovers. Warm them up. Make you a sandwich. Make you a tuna sandwich. I think they could have used just a little more pepper. But I think they're really good. Thank y'all for joining me today in Tennessee. Our weather here has been like almost up in the 50s. Like 46 or something. And sunny. Snow's melting still. And we've had a nice day. But we decided we'd make some tuna cakes. I love y'all. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for viewing. Thank you for your comments. If you've made these, make a comment and let me know what you put in yours. I love y'all. Bye.